let's talk about Slip Away. So this was released in 2022. This is every year I release my greatest albums of the year list and my best songs of the year. So this is a front runner for song of the year for me. I love this
Oh,
song. I
thank
absolutely
you.
love it. I've listened to it so much. The song, the guitar playing, the recording, the harmonies, the melody, like just to me, it's like you knocked it out of the park with this song. Do you
Thank you.
remember when you first came up with that guitar? So you're not just playing four chords. It's like there's some intricate guitar stuff going on. You're moving around and picking. Do you remember writing that?
Yeah. One of the I wouldn't say one of the first songs, but one song I learned when I was learning guitar was Blackbird by the Beatles. Um, because who doesn't play that song on guitar? So I learned that one. And then years later, I was like, I just needed some inspiration. And I was like, hey, why don't I mess around with the chords they used in that song? And I was like, but how do I make it not sound like Blackbird? So I took a capo and I put it on the seventh fret on my guitar and I did the same chords. And that's kind of how Slip Away came to be.
Do you have any tips for beginner guitarists, someone kind of picking up a guitar for the first time? Any advice on how to get good faster than without any help?
I think something a lot of people don't realize is like you have to have fun doing it to be learning, you know, um, to learn the fastest way I would say is just like be passionate and don't lose that passion. Like do whatever it takes to have fun practicing. Like honestly, whatever it takes, like play a new song, like even if it's easy, watch TV while you're playing guitar. I don't know. Like if you're losing that passion, you're not going to be learning anything of value. So I think that that's something that's overlooked a lot when it comes to learning how to you know do a new skill. Um, Another thing is that's more technical. I would say use heavier strings because they sound better, and you don't want to have to go up. It's always harder to just go up. If you just start on like really tough strings, you'll that's all you'll know, and it'll be easy for you. Um, so yeah.
This is this is advice coming from playing your dad's really hard guitar where there's this much space between the frets and the strings.
Exactly. Yeah. It whipped me into shape. It did pretty quick.
When you're on an electric now, it must feel like you're just like floating.
It does, yeah. I definitely like I have less callus than I did when I started playing. I don't know why that is. I've been playing a lot of electric guitar lately, which is probably why because it's a lot easier to play. Um, so maybe I'm a bit out of shape in that sense, but but yeah, I would recommend going with the heavier gauge.
Is the song Slip Away about uh struggling to be vulnerable, about not being able to completely open yourself up to someone else?
Yeah, yeah, imposter syndrome is something that I think a lot of artists struggle with, including myself. It's just like this voice in your head telling you like you're being fake and you don't deserve your accomplishments and like it's kind of what that song's about, you know? It's like you can try to hold me close, but just slip away, meaning like you're never really gonna know who I am because I'm like I feel fake, though I'm not. It's just a feeling of like being someone you're not and not being, authentic, even if you're trying to be.
Where do you think imposter syndrome comes from? Where do you think that stems from?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think everyone has it. Like everyone in
Honestly,
every industry, at like every
totally.
level of success. All the artists that I've talked to that have won Junos or been nominated or been to the Junos, they all felt like with their award, like, why did I get this? You know, they're up against like Neil Young and they win, and they're like, what is going on? Or they're up against
Mhm.
Rush and I'm Mother Earth on their first album beats Rush, one of their heroes, for a Juno, and
Mhm.
they're like, what is happening?
Yeah, totally. No, it's something that every artist deals with. And it's like, I don't know, it's funny because it almost seems like the better the artist, the more imposter syndrome you have, which is interesting. You'd think it'd be the opposite, but it's not. And I don't know, maybe that comes with being vulnerable in songwriting. Like you have to put you have to be like authentic to write a song. You can't really, I mean, you can't really get away with writing a song that people are really going to connect and feel without being authentic. So I don't know, maybe that's where it kind of comes from. We're forced, not that we're forced, but it requires being authentic to be an artist, especially to be in like the public eye, you know, like if you're fake, people are gonna pick up on that, and they do. So maybe it comes from that.
The harmonies in all your songs are great. Does
Thank you.
hearing and singing harmonies come easy to you? And for an example, um, I always just performed alone, so it's like there was no harmonies. I was the one voice,
Mhm.
and whenever I recorded harmonies, I would just do like an octave under or like an octave above. Like it was never actual
Mhm.
harmonies. And then I
Mhm.
dated an incredible singer songwriter that was like the harmony master. She could hear notes perfectly, sing them perfectly, and I learned a lot about harmony, and now I can hear them and sing them. And like she's complete, that experience completely changed harmonies for me.
Mhm.
So back to for you, is it just harmonies are easy?
Yeah, I would say so.
How dare
And
you? How dare
what's
you
that?
with your gift of natural harmony hearing and singing?
Yeah,
Anyway,
I did in school. I did a lot of ear training. That was one of my favorite subjects, and it was something that I was pretty good at. Just like hearing different intervals and whatnot. Yeah, I think I don't know. I have a lot of fun with recording harmonies. I think they're one of my favorite things to do. It kind of goes along with the whole recording, vocals with my producer. We treat backgrounds the same way we treat a lead. Um, for example, we on one of the songs that isn't released yet, we kind of mocked like a whole choir. Like he got me in this room. Actually, I'm in the studio right now, and he got me to stand like in different spots around the microphone and sing as if I was a different person. Um, so that's one example of like having fun with harmonies. I think that it goes back to having fun doing something is like going to teach you the most, you know?
so we've covered the four songs that are already out, and that leads us to the new single "Clean." So this is out on July 15th. So what can you tell us about this new song? So if someone goes on your
Hmm.
Instagram, I believe there's like a snippet, like 15 seconds or 30 seconds, so you can hear a little bit of it, a sneak peek.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I wrote this one actually when the pandemic hit. I wrote this one. I wrote this one about a toxic relationship. Um, Now it means so much more to me though, with everything going on in the world. It really kind of relates back to toxic masculinity for me. When we made this song, the way we wanted it to feel was like the track was supposed to be this like macho sort of vibe in the back. And then the vocals on top are like the female version of things kind of being angry and at this other male figure. So I hope we pulled that off. That was kind of the goal, to have like that kind of, butting of heads in there, almost like an argument was happening. Um, so yeah, that's what you can expect.
And so you mentioned there's Slip Away and Clean. I'm just making sure I
Mhm.
got the facts down. So Slip
Yeah.
Away and Clean are the first two songs from this new 5-song EP that you might have just unveiled to the world for the first time here. Breaking news.
Yes, I might have.
So the final three songs, will we hear them for the first time when that EP is released, or will you continue to release them one at a time? And then once all five are out, then there's this package deal that comes out as a full EP.
Yeah, I my plan is to release them all individually. And this is for a couple of reasons. I really want to give each song its time to shine, and be noticed. As an independent artist, as you know, it's like excuse me, it's like a singles world out there, you know? Um,
That's like before the Beatles. It was all about singles. And then the Beatles had so many good songs that people bought albums, and then albums became the way to do it. There's more money when someone buys a full album versus a single. And it seems like now with streaming, we're back in a singles world.
yeah, totally. we're definitely in a singles world today. So I think as an independent artist, it's really important to really kind of use each song to its fullest. So that's exactly what I plan to do. And also, they're all just kind of different, like they fit together. I really do believe they fit together and they belong on the same project. But they're all very different and unique in their own way. So yeah, I
So
plan to release them one by one.
so you already know what the final three songs are?
Yes, yeah.
Are they already recorded?
They are.
Oh man. Oh man, they exist. Okay. Are you allowed to give song titles or is that giving too much already?
I don't know if I'll give song titles.
Okay.
I think I'm going to keep that in the back pocket for now.
Look, I got on behalf of the fans, I got to push for as much as I can get, right? So now we
Yeah.
know the limit. So we'll stop there. So for Cassidy's fans, I got as much as I could for you guys, and you'll have to wait for the new single on the 15th and then for the album after that. We mentioned before that you have the cover of the Taylor Swift song. So I think it's The Best Day. Is that the name of the
Hmm.
title? Yeah, yeah. So you
Yeah.
do a great cover. You do lots of great covers. So if people check you out on your YouTube, as well as on your Instagram, they'll find a lot of great covers. What are your three favorite covers to do and why?
Right now, I would have to say Chinatown is one of them by Bleachers. This song is just so like nostalgic. Um, it's so like he's such a great songwriter. I can't not cover one of his songs. So there's that one. One of them, another one I discovered recently is called Thank You. Lennon Stella did a cover of it herself, which is actually the only version I've ever heard, but I believe it's by another artist. Another artist actually wrote this song. It's like a super beautiful, I mean, at least the way she does it is like a really beautiful song that isn't about a breakup for once. It's actually about, well, saying thank you to that person that you love so much because of how much they've, brought into your world and how much happiness they've given you, which I think is such a beautiful thing. So there's that one. Another cover song. I love like getting inspiration from cover songs more or less than like, like I really every time I cover a song, I really try to make it like a thing. It's not just like I do a lot of them. Like quality over quantity is what I'm trying to say. um Lately I haven't been covering a lot of songs. I more songwrite. Um so there's those top two. I've recently learned Running Up That Hill, which is also a super fun one just because everyone knows it and like you can go so many different directions with that song.
Is
So,
that the Kate Bush song that's at the top of the
yes.
charts?
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Stranger Things?
Oh,
Apparently
I'm
that's what
such a
pushed
big
it. Okay, okay. So
yes.
um I'm always looking at the chart. So today's Friday,
Mhm.
so all the new albums are out today. So I'll go and get them on Spotify. I'll listen to them. Like I'm just a big music nerd. And
Mhm.
I'm looking at the charts and there's this Kate Bush song that's gone to number one. And I'm like, isn't that a super old song?
Yeah.
And so she just set three all-time records. So it's like Cher used to have the record for oldest person to ever have a number one. She was like 52 or something. Now Kate
Mhm.
Bush is, I don't know, 60 something. So she holds that record. And
Oh,
then the
wow.
single running, what is it? Running Up the Hill?
Yeah, Running Up That Hill. Yeah.
Running Up That Hill. So that was a minor hit back when it came out in, I don't know, the 80s or 90s or something. So it's the
Mhm.
longest period of time from the release of a song to when it got to number one. And then it was the longest period between charting and then charting again. So that song's huge. And then apparently in that same episode, they they use Metallica's Master of Puppets, and now Master of Puppets is charting higher than it's ever charted before as well. So
Oh my
the
goodness.
power of Stranger Things, and you'll like
Yeah.
this as a Stranger Things fan, is I watched the first two episodes of the first season yesterday. So I'm
Oh
now
my
jumping on the
goodness.
bandwagon. So
Oh, do it. Yeah, it's such an amazing show, honestly. The actors are great.
yeah, all those young kids, and I guess they
Yeah.
grow up over the show. So
Yeah. Uh-huh.
man, it's all a mystery to me right now because two episodes in, it's like just they're building mystery and it's like there's no answer. So I
Mhm.
currently have no idea what's going on with the show. But anyways, do you have any advice for young musicians. So our listeners, there's a lot of musicians. Some of them are kids or teenagers. If they are, picking up an instrument for the first time or considering becoming a musician, any advice on how to make a name for themselves as a musician? There's a lot of musicians out there, so it's hard to carve your own space.
Yeah. Um, I would say definitely what I said before about the whole, keeping passion and make sure that you love what you're doing because this industry it's a hard one and it will knock you down if you let it. So stay passionate and always remember why you do what you do. And don't let anyone take advantage of you because that's definitely something that I think has happened to me a lot, especially as a female. If you're a female artist and a female musician, just know that you are capable, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Hmm. That's good advice. And I have some kind words from an amazing singer songwriter. This is from Blair Packham. So he says, she's a super talented songwriter with a great voice, and I'm a fan. So that's from Blair.
Oh, thanks, Blair. I didn't actually, he was a teacher at Metalworks. I didn't take any of his classes, but I wish I would have. I heard good things.